Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for another edition of one of your favorite things to watch around the middle of the week. That is Tonio Garza.
La guerra de la mitad de la semana.
I love it when you say that. It's the midweek war. Hi, guys. How's it going? I'm Eamon. I'm usually not the one introing the show, but unfortunately, Mad Mike couldn't make it this evening for the festivities. What a week to miss. We got a lot to talk about this week. But joining me, as always, my other Texas compatriot, Mr. Tonio Garza.
Hey, what's up, Eamon? The Texas takeover of the midweek war this week.
This is going to be a lot of cowboy hats, a lot of every other thing people think Texas is that really isn't. But hey, you know. But we're talking Lucha Underground in this first part of the midweek war. And oh boy, do we got a lot to talk about.
Yep.
As always. So go ahead, Tanya. What would your one word be for Lucha Underground?
My one word is mamacita, as you heard it chanted in the show.
Yes, absolutely. And my word would be twist.
Yes.
Yeah, because there's a big twist in this one, guys.
Yeah, I got swerved bad.
I really got oh boy. So yeah, let's talk about it. Tony, I'll start with you. What is your one good thing for Lucha Underground this week?
So I'm gonna go straight to it, and that was the main event, a Last Luchador Standing between Fenix and King Cuerno, who are slowly kind of becoming like the workforces of Lucha Underground.
Mm-hmm.
Because even though you have your Pumas and your Pentagons and your Mundos, Fenix and King Cuerno are the two guys that just constantly like kick ass. And I really liked that. Once again, Lucha Underground takes like this concept of a match that we have, and they just kind of like make it work without doing whatever else everyone is doing.
Mm-hmm.
Like they managed to like I felt like a kid. Like they took me back 20 years when a last man standing match wasn't about breaking 14 tables and chair shots and kendo sticks and all that stuff. It was just like they managed to make like a topic on Elo a credible move that could end the match.
Yeah,
and that itself made the finish look like holy shit.
Right, and like you said, like they built it up to kind of one big spot, which was such a cool spot and such a terrifying spot. Like I would not want to be in King Cuerno's position at all. Not just from like the fact that he's falling, but he's falling backwards with like no like no chance to really like see where he's landing. Basically, like that's so terrifying.
Yeah. Like I'm glad they have like a mathematician in the crew. And they just like made a perfect triangulation to where he was gonna fall, because I was like, "Holy shit, that's scary."
That's really terrifying. And I like that they played up the fact that they played up the fact that the story they told was King Cuerno is undefeated in this match, and the whole point is that Katrina wanted Cuerno to kill Fenix, not just beat him. Yeah. And what better way to do that than in a match like that? Like, it's perfect.
Yeah. And I love the little subtlety of Mil Muertes getting agitated mid-match.
Yeah.
He was just like, oh, shit.
Which you never see. He's usually very, like, stoic.
Yeah, but you, like, and I actually noticed that last show when Puma and Pentagon Jr. were coming out, he's kind of playing, like, this agitated guy who hates but can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
So, I'm just like super right now, like super interested to see the day Mil Muertes finally explodes and just goes back to killing.
Oh yeah, definitely. Going to my good for this week, and I'm definitely interested to hear your thoughts as well. My good for this week is the debut of Kobra Moon. We got to see only in Lucha Underground. We get to see a snake wrestle a tiger.
Yeah.
I think it was interesting because the promo video they had of her the week before kind of, like, I think you even mentioned it, like, was sort of the same sort of, like, oh, she's fighting people, like, outside the temple sort of thing kind of style. So you didn't really get a huge sense of who she was. And yeah, and it's safe to say she's an anthropomorphic snake.
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest. She's green as fuck.
Yeah, I thought she did well. She maybe isn't to. I don't know if she's at the level of like a sexy star necessarily, or even an Evilise maybe. But as someone who is, sort of, I would say I don't, say if I'm wrong, obviously going forward in the season, but she doesn't seem like a character that necessarily will have sort of the higher place stories, I guess you could say, because she's very much like a Bengala in that she's like the attraction sort of thing where it's like, oh wow, that's a snake person wrestling.
Yeah, that's what I felt too. Like she's gonna be like in the multi-man gift of the gods match, like by the end of the show, and I think that's gonna be like the most we'll get of her. I think wrestling wise she was green, but I really like that she plays her character like the snake girl throughout the whole match.
She did a lot of little things that were like, oh, that's like how a snake would do it. Like it was very putting that kind of detail into things is really important.
Yeah. So I like that. I'm guessing I'm gonna wait to see how she faces out with other girls. Maybe just Ricky Marvin is not the best combination for her. But we'll see.
But yeah, I'm excited. I just love we have such a ridiculous character like that.
Yeah.
It's always real fun. So yeah, what would Tony? What would be your bad for this week of Lucha?
It's hard to say. I guess my bad's gonna go to. Okay, my bad's gonna go to Prince, Puma, and Katrina.
Oh really?
Yeah, it's not that it was bad like per se, but I'm just like really disconnected on what's going on right now. We had the confirmation because it wasn't really sure the last season, but Conan is dead, so that's also bad because I love Conan's promos, but I don't know. I just feel right now like super disconnected with the Puma character. I can just tell he's like super pissed, but if he doesn't talk and he doesn't find another mouthpiece, it's gonna be kind of hard to really follow up with him.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be interesting because one of him also being paired in this sort of like feud with Pentagon. Like obviously Pentagon is such a fan favorite, and I think people like Puma, and obviously Puma is super talented. But I think like you said, like that kind of could play a factor. I think. I think. And I trust Lucha Underground will do this, but I like to think that the moment that Puma speaks is going to be a huge deal because we have not heard him speak at all.
Yeah, I agree with that. And now that you mentioned the Puma and Pena Jr., I'm starting to feel like they're gonna build up to a Steve Austin Bret Hart thing, where you have like the super baby face, like all straight, and then you have like this anti-hero Pena Jr. And maybe there's going to be a double turn or something, but
that could. I mean, I think Puma's character and motivation is always interesting, and just the whole playing with Conan and the whole idea that like Conan was meant to be like a snake in the grass and kind of only out for himself.
And ended up being like super loyal and just straight up good guy.
Yeah, I could definitely see Puma maybe not going full heel, but in a sense like being corrupted almost in a sense, and
going darker.
You're going a bit darker, which I think would be really cool to see. And that match next week that they announced for Puma and Pentagon would be awesome. I think that could rival like the Puma Mundo stuff that kind of was the real selling point for season 1.
Yeah, I mean that could probably be like the feud that like goes throughout like for most of the season until we get into our final Ultima Lucha stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Let's see. My bad for this week on Lucha Underground. God, it's so hard because there was a lot. Like honestly, there's a lot. We say it all the time, but there's a lot of really good stuff on the show. Slight bad, and I don't know if this is the thing on their part or anything. Just something I kind of picked up on. The light. It's just me, or is the lighting kind of weird this season? when it comes to like
Yes.
the crowd. Like
Yeah, I did notice. 'Cause when Phoenix came out, you couldn't see him like at all. He
well,
was like taunting the camera, and you couldn't see anything.
well, I also during the like when they were going to that finish, like the area that they were kind of finding was a little darker, and so
Yeah.
some of the stuff got kind of lost. I feel. I don't know if that's maybe like it could be even a point of like the fact that Muertes and Katrina have taken over the temple, so it's maybe a play off of that. I don't know. It just sounds kind of weird because there's clearly there's clearly people in that temple. Like it's not
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of weird to me. I some spots where they're like going to the outside and dives and stuff like that. Some of it gets kind of lost, but maybe that's just me.
Yeah, yeah. There was like another. Now that you mentioned it, like also when Cuerno went for the ladder, I couldn't see what he was doing until he started like shaking the ladder.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Yeah, I definitely agree.
And again, that's like the most minor thing I can think of.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would be mine. What would be your change for this week?
My change for the week would be when Tejano got attacked. I wouldn't have used masked guys again. That's been a theme like for the last 3 shows. Masked guys attacking people outside.
It's gonna be. I bet it's the same guys, and they're eventually gonna get revealed into something. Hopefully.
Yeah, I don't know, but it's getting ridiculous. And I really love that bar fight. Like
I popped so huge when he got past the bullwhip.
The rope. Yes.
The rope. Yeah. So I was like, yes, let's do this.
It brought me back to like Dusty Road bar fights, like from the 80s and 90s. Like I really liked it, but it was like, why are there so many like masked luchadors like just attacking people all over the place? But, yeah.
Hopefully we'll find out soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can definitely agree. Let's see, my change for this week. Oh, that's a good question. Maybe I guess that's my only thing is that maybe touch more on the Mysterio thing, because I don't know, that was the only kind of weird part for me was like when they did the opening like last time on Lucha Underground sort of thing. They didn't really like mention the Mysterio thing. Obviously, because the stuff they put in that opening promo is kind of more focused on what's going to happen on that episode. But but I don't know, like the Mysterio thing's huge, so I just found it kind of weird. But again, that's like super nitpicky change,
Yeah, that's a story that like right now kind of feels disconnected with everything because even tonight's post-credit stuff that we will talk about right now. It's connected to the overall story of Dario Cueto and Katrina, but the Mysterio thing right now is like super disconnected with everything because we know it's kind of supposed to be connected with Dario, but not really, not yet.
Yeah.
So I agree. Like something would have been nice.
I think it's interesting that they have these multiple stories that are just happening outside the temple, like the whole Mysterio stuff's outside, Dario, the stuff we saw in the end, the Sexy Star Moth stuff. Like, it's almost like the temple has its own sort of thing, and then there's also this continual story that's going on around it, almost.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool. But let's get to that ending.
Now let's talk about it. So we go to well, it's not even a backstage segment. It's an office state. This segment for the Los Angeles PD, where Captain Vasquez, a beautiful lady, she is telling this police officer, detective, you kind of fucked up. You're not covered, and you lost Dario Cueto. And then we pan to the camera, and who is this? Cortez fucking Castro, who's actually.
Which I think they said Reyes, I think, in the...
Yeah, Officer Reyes.
I like that. That's a kind of cool little touch. But basically revealing that he was undercover the whole time.
Yeah, he's an undercover, and he's been working with the crew.
So, because here's what... Obviously, well, one, Bale's dead. But also, I believe... So Mr. Cisco also was not in on it. which I find
No,
very
no, no.
interesting.
Apparently, Cisco is definitely like part of an actual crew, I guess.
Yeah. But Cortez, I guess, was on the inside trying to get Dario Cueto, taken into custody,
Yeah.
basically. Which really makes the whole season 1 like very interesting. Like
Yes.
I'm very it's just stuff like that I love. It's just like, oh, you think it's one thing and then it's completely different. But then it gets really good.
Yeah, super interesting.
Because he's basically told that he has to go back to the temple, but he's not going alone.
He has a partner.
He has quite the partner.
The world's cutest partner.
Officer Joey Ryan.
Yes. Of all people, I never expected Joey Ryan to be a cop, but he actually like looks the part.
Oh, he looks amazing.
He's perfect.
He is straight Super Troopers. Like, he is amazing.
Yeah, so we know that Joey and Cortez Castro are coming back to the temple, but they're supposed to like hate each other, which actually I didn't really. That's kind of something that I got from their interaction, that they don't like each other, but I mean they're going to work together. So I guess their feud will be that.
I think it's a case of like Ricky Reyes being like the straight man, so to speak, and like obviously Joey being ridiculous and Joey Ryan. I love this. I'm very excited about this.
Yeah, me too. Especially because I understand that Joey Ryan's actual like lucha character is gonna be Joey Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
So
I love that he's using. So the Joey Ryan character is basically a cover up, which I love.
Yep. Exactly.
That's such a cool way to do things. Like, it's really cool. Yeah, I'm so excited for this. Overall, really, I also want to mention, because I couldn't tie this in also to my good. I think a match to me that kind of rivaled even the main event was Jack Evans Drago. That match was fucking good.
Yeah, I kind of felt like they never got into like full gear because they were like playing this interesting story of one-upping each other or something like that. Yeah. But I really, really liked it. And I'm super interested with the direction they're taking. I was really surprised that Jack Evans won. Mm-hmm. And as soon as he called himself the Dragon Slayer, and Dragon's like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? I'm right here.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be interesting.
I think the best thing about Jack Evans is that, one, I think people really kind of consider him for his high flying, which he's amazing at, but he's also a great shit talker.
Oh yes, like
I don't know if you've been following the times he was in PWG.
Oh, I was there for Bola.
When he basically cut like 10-minute promos before the matches for no reason.
During the matches.
Just to get heat.
Yeah, so he's a perfect he talks shit. Like, actually, like, if you remember when he debuted last year, the first thing he said is, "I am Lucha Libre."
Yeah.
And everyone was like, "Fuck you, white boy."
He's such a punk kid, and it's such a cool character.
So I'm hoping that Jack Evans will just talk shit all season long, because he's really good at it. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that match. The was Jack springboard onto the turnbuckle at one point and Drago super kicking him? Like,
oh yes.
Oh my god, it was amazing. I guess just to sort of wrap this up, what is your ranking for Lucha Underground this week and in midweek?
It's number one. Just, I mean, you can't really say no. All three matches two were really, really good, and the other one was interesting. Mm-hmm. And then you have all the storyline stuff, which was great. I really, really like that first Katrina Phoenix interaction. They actually, Phoenix, like, he kind of sucks at talking, even in Spanish. But since you can't understand it, and you have Katrina kind of like working around him, it's really, really cool. So I really liked it. So yeah, number one for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Same here with me. Number one. It's going to be very hard to beat it, I think, in this whole season.
Yeah, like, I was thinking right now where you were saying that this main events were really good. I'm interested to see what happens when we get like a takeover, NXT takeover against the Lucha show, because like next week we have Planet Junior and Puma. That match could rival any takeover main event, you know. So I'm really interested. I'm really interested to see when we actually have like those two guys facing up each other.
Yeah, I think that, and I think Matt Stryker makes it a point to say on the commentary, and I'm paraphrasing what he kind of says, but it's the most innovative hour of wrestling right now on television.
Yep.
And I think that they're doing something so different, both with the backstage segments and all that stuff, but also the in-ring. You don't see the in-ring like that anywhere right now. Like
like they perfectly hide. I mean, they have the means to do it, but they can perfectly hide all the bad stuff. Like they make Kobra Moon look good.
But even like I just think the style of wrestling too, like even with Ring of Honor, like at least as far as their television show goes, it's very like pared down. Like it's not, you know, all out, balls out all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like Lucha provides that.
Yeah, this guy started like the last Luchador Standing on the 3rd episode. So
yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's the Lucha Underground portion of the midweek war for this week. We've got 3 more shows that we're doing. So join us for all of those. Tonio Garza, where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me at DW Revolution for Twitter, so you can go to thewrestlingrevolution.com.
Awesome, and you can check me out on Twitter at Amy2Please, or you can check out the promotion I'm involved with, Inspire Pro Wrestling, at Inspire Pro Res on Twitter, and at InspireProWrestling.com. That's this edition of the midweek. Go check us out at WrestlingMayhemShow.com for all of our talks about all kinds of wrestling. Go support us on Patreon. Go to ProWrestlingTees.com. Buy our T-shirts. Go support what we do if you like it, because we really appreciate that. And that's going to be it for
La Guerra de la Mitad de la Semana.